Something is wrong with mental health. Hello there, this is Dr. Paul Stoller, and the video you are about to watch is based on Sex, Lies, and Trauma, an article I wrote for a peer-reviewed journal. This is Part 8. This is an oversimplification, but narcissism is what happens when life is turned completely over to one's ego, and these folks are dangerous individuals to their victims. Those with Narcissistic Personality Disorder, or NPD, have a serious mental illness. They are not sane, although they act very normal in public, if not charming. The devil is a gentleman until you cross him. But are we dealing with a TBI, as I have already pointed out? Yes, they do get a psychiatric diagnosis. But is this really a brain injury with a potential treatment? A narcissist is a stunted child in an adult body, trapped in a set of defense mechanisms, so thick they can't access who they truly are. They have zero introspection, no ability to self-reflect. Their reality is delusional and inverted. They believe they are victims. Narcissists often work with the victim-perpetrator archetype and are incapable of taking accountability. To them, admitting a mistake or wrongdoing is the emotional equivalent of slitting their own wrists, so they don't go there. They can have a rare lucid moment, but they just don't have the ability to sustain clarity. This is so much like a TBI, but there are just too darn many of both, meaning one needs to carefully vet a potential partner. Narcissists are often more likely to marry compared to non-narcissists, because marriage can provide them with a captured source of validation, admiration, and control. Narcissists are also often more likely to marry multiple times due to their inability to maintain long-term relationships, or their desire to find a better partner, usually an empath. Narcissistic Personality Disorder, or NPD, is estimated to be only 1 to 2% of the population, but having narcissistic personality traits could be over 20% of the population. In the USA, that is at least 3 million with full NPDs and 60 million NPTs. That is a whole lot of people you want to steer clear of, but unfortunately, they don't wear signs around their neck, other than being very charming and seductive, which is their main psychological power. It is their superpower, like honey to a fly. It does beg the question, how many people in the USA have some form of mental illness? The answer is not precise, but it is believed that 50% of the population will experience some form of mental illness during their lifetime. While this is just an estimate of married couples, there could be at least a 50% chance that those marriages are with a narcissist, be it trait or disorder. Non-coincidentally, that corresponds with the divorce rate of first marriages. The eventual fate of a narcissist is to spiral into a deep depression when all they have left is their own low self-esteem and self-loathing. They deserve our respect as a human being, but you want to stay as far away as possible. It is sad, but it is a mental disorder that thrives on the addiction to chaos and manipulation. Some people need to feel the thrill of destruction to feel alive. Many of us are lonely, but not because we lack companionship. We are lonely because we will not release the past. And it is hard to be in the present moment burdened by unresolved emotions from past experiences that no longer serve us. I loathe the phrase, let it go, or letting go. I don't think these phrases assist unless they provide the knowledge of how to achieve this letting go. These unresolved and often painful emotional memories are not things that can be tossed away or dissolved just because we want to release ourselves from them. We hold on to these memories, be they positive or negative because we didn't understand them, and the truth is we may never understand them. So there is hardly a point in holding on to them unless we like punishing ourselves. What we can do, as these memories of unresolved experiences sneak into our conscious minds, is to thank them for shaping us and providing valuable experience regardless of how pleasant or unpleasant they were. I submit it as gratitude that dissolves the attachment we have to memories that no longer serve. Gratitude for what? For everything you have going on in your life at any moment. Take nothing for granted. I can't stress this too much, but gratitude is the universal solvent, so to say, for the burden of holding on to a past that just holds us back. We have lost sight of the tools we could be employing to make our lives better. In the past, there were more individuals in Western society that had a strong spiritual foundation. We have been living through a very dystopian period where both men and women have lost their moral compasses. Having morals is not some quaint, archaic notion. This isn't about attending church or temple. It means people knew they weren't the center of the universe and couldn't just do or think anything they wanted with impunity. There were more gals who had better relationships with parents and family members. They had interests and hobbies and didn't rely on their relationship to fulfill all their needs. Family goals were more aligned than they are today. The problem with losing one's moral compass is that nature abhors a vacuum. So instead of a moral compass, you get a mental illness in its place. And where there is mental illness, there is often self-medication. 1 in 6 women in the U.S. are on antidepressants. And with that comes potential sexual dysfunction, further complicating an already delicate situation. What has been found is 25% of women with anxiety disorders or major depression will self-medicate. 40% of U.S. teenagers now struggle with anxiety or depression, in part due to the junk food they eat. This is the end of Part 8.